Hello everyone, today we are going to talk about an inspiring ecological urbanism initiative implemented here in the city of Bogota, the School Feeding Program, or also well known as PI. So in this presentation we are going to discover how Bogota's Programa de Alimentación Escolar, also named, promotes ecological urbanism and also peace. So with my partner Miguel Nuñez, in this presentation we are going to share our findings and insight about this wonderful project.
Well, now we need to understand what is el Programa de Alimentación Escolar PAE. First, we need to address that it's a national research. It's a meals for public students nationwide, but with especially focusing here in Bogota and how it combats our malnutrition and hunger daily over 800,000 students and has nearly a budget or scale of 200 million USD annual invested in all the youth. Well, first, we need to understand how we made before this presentation an infographic and an argumentative text. Those works make us like dive deeper in how this reasoning behind these initiatives and show how they align with global goals like SDG 2, that's zero hunger, and SDG 11, that is sustainable cities and communities. And both activities help us reinforce like the importance of this project in the global environment.
So now, for example, an initiative of this PI is the creation of community gardens in low-income neighborhoods in order to provide access to fresh products to the residents. That's why with the creation of these gardens in different points of the city of Bogota, kids and also their families are having access to fresh, excellent, and most important, cheaper products because they are planted right there in their community. Also, as the quality of the food is very good, this helps fight child malnutrition, which aligns, as my partner said, with the SDG number 2. Also, the construction of these gardens strengthens community labor, which links students from preschool and also public schools, which aligns with SDG 11. Why? Because by promoting a community labor on vulnerable kids, they feel now important and like well received in their community. And this tendency has been noticed in decreases in school dropout and absenteeism. For instance, between 2012 and 2019, these decreases have been around 12 and 14%.
Well, now we need to understand what is the project key objectives. As my partner already said, improve nutrition, that is the student health and learning capabilities in each of one of them. Support local economy, creating those markets or those trades between the farmers and between the kids, and encourage environmental care, foster stewardship, and reduce processed food by 40% in what kind of food they consume in school, and community engagements like also involve the families and the whole community. And moreover, I think that these gardens have become like for the community engagement, reducing insecurity and strengthened relation between residents, not only kids.
So now with a personal reflection with the team and why we admire PAE. First, because the holistic development. With the PAE, we are promoting urban growth with the social and environmental focus, which is very important to the community. Also, with the social cohesion and bonding. Why? Because now the community is acting like a community because they are participating and cooperating with a main focus. In third place, because the food security and environment because with the planting of food in the community, we are helping the problem of hunger and also ecological challenges around the city and the community. And finally, this is being a regional inspiration because according to our information, this has been like a target for other cities because they want to like start doing also these gardens in their communities.
Well, now that's a more personal and a more oriented opinion of our career in civil engineer. We found this project like particularly inspiring because it shows how simple ideas like gardens can support local production, water management, community inclusions, and build resilient spaces. And I think that that 4 point is the most important one. Like us as a civil engineer or architect, or we need to design and we need to consider this equitable environment like foresting peace and sustainability between cities, and is key for us to consider or in a global environment and considering also SDGs. And also, in conclusion, like Pa's role in Bogota, as we have already said, the ecological urbanism, the social equality, the engineering piece, and the call to action that we need to consider, and how we understand this project and how it shows the ecological urbanism can transform abandoned or unsafe spaces and people, these kids in this case, and produce healthy and peaceful environments.
And finally, as a self-assessment, we felt very challenged and good in this work. Why? Because it allowed us like to connect in a social and environmental way regarding the PI here in Bogota, like making us more aware, for example, of the impact in education, sustainability, and public health of this initiative. Also, we learned a lot of things doing this project because before this we saw the SDGs as something theoretical, but with the searching of information and doing this project, we saw that these SDGs are very important in order to implement in a project.
Well, and finally, the first area we need to consider that is we need to improve like a strong environmental focus, and we as a civil engineers, we focus more like in an economy and a social areas or impacts, but most of the time we left outside or we left out the environmental impact, and we doesn't consider in our projects and the design and the modeling of our projects. And I think that nowadays it plays an important role and a crucial role in our world. Also, due to our career, most of the time we are not doing this type of research, and we need to follow this research to understand how the community coexist with our spaces and our buildings that we are constructing.
That's why we
Thank you.
consider our grade will be graded in a 4.5. Thank you so much for your attention.